Is 9:40, and joining me now on the show, fresh from an overseas European tour, it is Dan joining me from the Black Seeds this morning. Good morning to you, Dan.
Good morning.
And welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Still feeling a little bit lagged?
Yeah, it's a little bit strange, you know. Comes 8:30 p.m. and I want to go to bed. I feel like a really old man.
Yeah,
and
but you guys took off over there for the release of the new album.
Yeah, Dust and Dirt. Yeah, that's right. So we started in North America and straight to LA.
Yep.
Down the East Coast.
What did you do in North America? Whereabouts? And what were the gigs?
Oh, San Diego, LA, Santa Barbara, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Up to Canada. Yeah. And Vancouver, Victoria Island.
Festivals over there? Or?
No, just all our shows, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to go back in August just to Europe, and then those will all be festivals. But yeah, this time around it was just all pretty much our shows.
Is there a good solid base of fans in North America?
It really is. You know, we took last year off to focus on the album, and going back this time, I mean, it just really got us confident in what we're doing, and people really understanding where we're coming from, that, you know, we're not really just a reggae band. We bring in all these other ideas, other styles.
And the new album is totally proving that, right?
Yeah, and that's what, you really want to get that sort of idea out, but you can't force those ideas onto other band members, like, let's go this way, let's go that way, it needs to happen naturally. But, you know, we're really proud of what we've done.
Everything's good inside the band, is it?
Yeah, it is, actually. You know, from touring, being in a van, very close quarters. It's been really good, actually. I was just actually thinking about that today, that, some bands can kind of fall apart in those sort of situations where, you know, we have a lot of respect for each other, and, you know, it's us together trying to put our music out there and make a living out of what we're doing. And if we're against each other, it's not going to bloody work.
Is everyone as part of the creative force of the band, or just a few people when everyone else sort of likes playing what
it used to be like that with earlier albums, but with this one we really needed to bring everybody together. To, you know, we started demoing probably about a year and a half ago, and just everybody just bring your Pro Tools sessions, your little acoustic jam, whatever it is, and then we'll see what works, and if three people take on an idea, and then we'll go with that, and that'll grow, and hopefully the other ones will jump on board, and maybe they won't. And it's been a really collective, this album, of everybody bringing their ideas, and I think that's why this album has worked really well for us.
Is there ever any voting on anything? Or a secret ballot?
A bloody album name, or what are we going to do? Are we going to do this gig here, or do we want to have this T-shirt design? Or no, I mean, not when it comes to, like, should we use this song or that song on the album? Yeah. It's really more of, does that fit into the whole jigsaw puzzle of each song working with each other? I mean, we had about 30 songs to choose from, and I mean, but really once you start getting to near the end of the album, you really know which one's going to work and which one's not really going to work, and so that's really good to see.
Because how many members in the band at the moment?
Well, the core members of the Black Seeds now is 6.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't have a horn section anymore. That's part of the band. They left about 2 years ago. So
who picks up the horn?
So we get Lucian Johnson and Barrett Hawkins, who came on tour with us. Yep. And then if they can't do it, then we get Matt, who is a great baritone player, and another guy, Chris Winter, who plays trumpet. So we've worked between those two. You know, ideally it would be good to have a solid horn section, but actually these guys are really competent in what they do, and Lucian and Barrett are they're really good at what they do with their instruments, and this tour, just really, I mean, it can either work against you in tours or work or break it apart, and they just really came to the party, and it just fitted. They just feel like part of the family. Yeah.
So going back to North America, playing your own shows, did you drag around a support outfit with you, or did you find support on the road?
There was a band Stranger that supported us in 2 places in North America, and then another band, the Expanders, who supported us at one show.
They're locals over there.
Yeah, they were locals, and but really the rest of the shows were just us. I mean, bar a couple of gigs in Canada, but at the end of the day, I mean, the majority of people are coming to see us, and we just
forget this.
Well, that's kind of where we're at. We're like,
although you all are generally in other projects or have your own thing going on as well, so there's always potential for one of you to get up.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely is that. I mean, so much time and energy goes into just that one show, and to go, okay, we could have an offshoot of a Fly My Pretties or of the Nigel Patterson Trio or something like that. And you could do that, but it actually takes so much more effort. Right now we're kind of thinking we'd love to get into each of us just doing some DJing before the show and setting up a vibe. And then if we find an MC in a local town, it's not like we don't want to be involved with having other artists from these different towns and cities and countries. Yeah. It's just the amount of effort that goes into having another band set up before you and then relying on them with whatever, if we're using their backline, and then they play and then we have to wait for them to get all their stuff off, and sometimes between that time of you setting up and then setting up, the crossover can be just so fucked up, and something really bad can happen with the patching or whatever. So we just want to keep it simple and just have us play, maybe a DJ and an MC.
So you travelled across the Atlantic to Europe and played all over the place, really, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Great, amazing show in Berlin. France, various places in France, a great festival, the Le Bourges Festival, which a lot of agents go to, and we turned up there. We were the first in the main tent, which holds like, I don't know, maybe 6,000 or 7,000 people, and it was pissing down with rain. Yeah. And we were in this small little town, and we were thinking, who was going to turn up here? Because there's no one at this festival, and it's a bloody big tent. And the French, they won't be lingering around earlier. They'll just, this is the time now, and they'll turn up, and man, they pull these curtains, and there's like 1,500 people there. Wow. And then they just love, the French just love music and their government supports the arts really, really well. So
even in tough times,
and I think it's a good change with their president as well. And he was actually there. That guy who won, his name evades me. That
French guy,
the French guy who's hopefully better. He was actually there at the show, and he just pushing his campaign, and there was a big French band that he knew of, and just getting his alternative votes. And a show cool. like that in at the Le Bourges Festival too. Hamburg and Germany, and Switzerland's been really good for us. And I think when we do these tours, we're not making any money. We're actually,
I was going to ask that.
We're losing money doing this.
What's the point?
Because
it's a nice time, but what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, we believe in what we do, and we've invested so much time into each album and each time that we've gone overseas. I love making music, but I don't really just want to make music so it just stays in its own little cubbyhole down this end of the world, and none of us feel that. And we've always wanted it to. We just feel like there is a worldwide appeal with our music, and now we're doing this tour. It's really, we really understand that people actually really dig it.
So so you just need them to buy the music now? Is that what you need?
We need, I mean, is there much money in selling music?
That's because I thought the money was in touring.
It is in touring. So we want better fees when we go over to Europe and the States.
Demand better fees.
Yeah, demand better fees, and I think now we're hopefully at that stage where we can, and we'll do these festivals in August, and hopefully I think the band is sounding really killer at the moment, and.
But anyone listening now who's just starting a band would be like listening to going, Oh man, what a hard slog. The Black Seeds have been around for like a decade, and they're not making many money on that overseas tour.
Yeah.
Oh, why am I doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you got to... I think... Yeah, it sounds bloody depressing.
Well, not depressing, but it's like, obviously you have a good time, and it's a great, great life, and obviously there is some money in there somewhere, but man, just for anyone just starting out, it sounds like a hard slog to even get where you guys are.
Yeah, it is really hard. I think, there's so many things that you need in place to make it happen, and having really good management. But I mean, I guess at the start of it, before that, is believing in the music and believing in what is that worthy to push out there, and do you believe that people who enjoy this and overseas, not just in New Zealand, and we're from a very early stage we felt that probably from the dojo, it was like, okay, we've kind of established ourselves in New Zealand, kind of in Australia, and now we need to, where do we go from here? Do we just want to stay here? We need to get out of here, and then slowly it's built from there. I mean, also you need friendship in the bands, and you need to really have the boys together, or the boys and girls together, pushing it out there to the world, and having that, a strong family base there, and that's really important, because when you're on the road, if you don't have that, you're going to be screwed.
What have you got?
And then I can't be on stage with a bunch of dicks that I don't like. I'll be fucked off.
Indeed. Finally, though, I heard a rumour that you were looking for a new practice space. Is that right?
Yeah, so we were in Paris and having a day off, and we get this call, and it's like, oh, hey guys, that studio which you had, it's all
You've
gone.
had for how long?
Yeah, we only had it for pretty much the length of what it took to record the album, like maybe a year, maybe just over a year.
Yeah.
And so now that's gone, and
why is it gone?
Because they want to put some really cool, awesome apartments in this space. It's an original idea.
The gentrification.
And so that's what they want to do. It's in prime real estate in Mount Cook, and so yeah, we're looking for a space. I mean,
off to the hut.
Yeah, the hut would be cool, but it's just finding a space where you can actually make some noise. Has it got enough spaces to... We're thinking about doing a combination with Lee Preble, having his own studio there, and then having our place where we can rehearse and record, and then actually having a space where other people can come in, so maybe having a few rooms that people can rehearse in. Also, it being a space where younger kids can come and hear us talk about our experiences and get our 5 cents on doing whatever, on touring, on being in a band, on I think we could have it could be a bit more a community based place to but it's really fun in the space, and it's really expensive rent, and people don't want to lower their rent, or it lowers the value of the buildings. But I think when you have a collective of people with the same thought in mind, I think that's really powerful, and I think we'll find it. It's a bit of the hippie coming out of me, but I think that's bloody. It's really true.
It's time to collaborate.
But going back to the thing about the younger people, starting with bands, it is we're throwing the dice out there. It is a gamble, and it is a gamble being in a band in New Zealand.
Don't do it. I think it's a message. Don't do it. That's what he's saying. Hey, Dan from the Black Seeds, thanks so much for dropping on by and telling us about the tour. Thanks. And the album and everything. And best like, what are you off to do in the next few months?
It's the New Zealand tour now for the next 2 weeks. So we've got our first show starting on Thursday down in Dunedin. Yeah. Which will be great, and then it's over to Wanaka and Christchurch, and then little old Nelson, which will be great, and that'll be the South Island covered, and then the order of it, I think it's Hamilton, and then 2 Auckland shows, and then 2 Wellington shows. Cool. And then that'll be us, and then later in the year we'll do some other places like Rotorua and Napier and other places. After this New Zealand tour, then we'll have half a week off, and then we'll go to Australia. Oh wow! Yeah, and then do 2 weeks over there,
It's a busy 2012 for the Black Seeds.
Yeah, it is. You know, we're really proud of this, of Dust and Dirt, so we just really need to push it as much as we can, and we'll have about a month and a half off after Australia, and then we'll actually that's a load of crap. We'll have like 2 weeks off after Australia, and then we'll go back to Europe and